Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, you're welcome. If this is also not your first time, you're also welcome. The title of this video is Top Vulnerability You Must Know as an Hacker Part 2. I made a video on the previous video of other vulnerabilities that you must know as an hacker, how they works and what they do. In this video, I'm going to give a thorough guide on other vulnerabilities and what they do. So stay tuned and be blessed, okay? So in this video, I'm going to be explaining business logic vulnerability. So the question is, what are business logic vulnerability? Take a look at this lab right here. Sorry, OWASP. This is actually OWASP. It said description, most security weaknesses in an application that result from a broken or missing security control. By contrast, business logic vulnerability are ways of using the legitimate process flow of an application in a way that results in a negative consequences to an organization. For example, purchase orders are not processed before midnight, product is given before transaction is verified, written authorization is on file before web access is granted, transaction is excess of $2,000 are not reviewed. So what this actually does is that business logic is actually different from other type of vulnerability, and you can actually find this type of vulnerability on websites that involves buying and selling, like an e-commerce website, like a course website. These are the type of website that you can find business logic vulnerability. I'm not saying that you can't find it in a different website, but this is a website that you can actually find it more, especially an e-commerce website. If you take a look at this message here, it said related attack, fraud, bypassing purchase validation, refund abuse, discount stacking, privilege escalation, exploiting workflow, inventory manipulation, reserving items without purchase, raise conditions, submitting concurrent request by bypass check, abuse of discount, apply expired coupons or bulk discount repeatedly. So if you take a look at all of this here, they are all related to e-commerce, like I said before, e-commerce. So I'm going to use a site to give you an example of what I mean. Let me use Portsrigger, portsrigger.com. I'm going to show you an example of a a business logic vulnerability. So I've clicked on what do they call it? Business logic vulnerability on Postfigure. So let me scroll through this. I've solved this lab before. This is not my system where I use in solving lab. So I actually do not have it here. So this is infinite money logic flow. I'm not going to solve the lab right here because I'm not currently using my tool, but I'll give you this as an example. He said this lab has a logic flaw in purchasing workflow. To solve this lab, explore the flaw to buy a lightweight leather jacket. You can log in as winner Peter. So what this lab actually does is, I'm not currently logged in, so I can't have access to the lab, but what this lab actually does is that you can purchase a product. Let me just say, you can check it out on your own, but I'm just giving you an illustration. You can purchase a product, and then let me say you purchase a product for $1,000. You can let the money which like the jacket you purchase for $1,000 increase the money or decrease the money. So that is why they name it infinite money logic flow. I make a video about this on my YouTube. You can scroll down and you see a video I made about this. You can actually grasp what I'm trying to explain. So in this next video, in this next vulnerability, we're going to talk about CSRF attack. So what type of attack is this? It's kind of like a forgery, doing something that remaking something in your own image. That is what a CSRF attack is, and it's actually a client side attack. So all these vulnerability that I'm mentioning, you don't have to learn all of them. You just have to pick one, master it, and get good at it because you can't learn all of them because there are so many. So this attack, CSRF attack, is a forgery. So let me show you an illustration. If you take a look at it here, he said cross-site request forgery is an attack that forces an end to execute unwanted action on a web application in which they are currently authenticated. With a little help of social engineering, such sending a link via email or chat, an attacker may trick the user of web application into executing action of the attacker choosing. If the victim is a normal user, a successful CSRF attack can force the user to perform state changing requests like transferring funds, change their email, and so forth. If the victim is an arithmetic account, CSRF can compromise the entire web application. You see, like I said before, this is what CSRF is. He said this might be seen as a useful CRS, preventing the technique as attacker cannot guess the victim's session ID. However, the session ID is exposed in the URL. We don't recommend fixing security flaw by introducing. So this is a perfect example of a CSRF attack. And this is an account tag, bank.com, transfer, view pictures, images, HROC. So this is a pretty good attack. You can visit owap.org to check more about other vulnerabilities if you want to learn more. So and also let me go to Postgres. Postgres is where you know all road leads to Postgres. All web security road lead to Postgres. So CSRF, CSRF. So in my next future video, I'm going to make video about Google Docking, but I don't think that will be now. So now this is it. You can scroll through here. You see a lot of lab that you can solve that explain more about CSRF attack. It is actually a cool attack, and you getting to know it, it will contribute more to your you know to your knowledge. And also, if you're not that good with programming and you want to choose between CSRF and SSS, I would recommend you choose CSRF over SSS because SSS requires it deals with a lot of JavaScript, and you not knowing much about JavaScript you know is somehow. So this is all I can say for this video. I hope you find it helpful. Leave a like if you have anything to drop in the comment section. Have a nice day and stay blessed. This is the last month of January.